look too fly. Cop the Dior on Ventura. Took a midnight swim in my Jura. Hating bitch, I'm a
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time on my channel since I opened this channel. This channel is currently 1 year old, so today is finally that day. Like you've seen in the thumbnail and the intro, this is going to be a makeup tutorial. I'm so happy that I'm finally doing this, and I really hope that I post this because this is like the third time I'm doing a makeup tutorial that I supposed to post on YouTube, and I never end up posting it, but this one will make it hopefully. So if you want to learn how to do your makeup from scratch, I'm talking about from skin prep to your base to how to draw your brows, my blending techniques, the brushes I use, the products that I use, literally everything that I do for my makeup is going to be in this video. Talking about everyday soft glam makeup routine, so you want to stay tuned and don't hesitate to watch this video whenever you want to do your makeup. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. This is my makeup routine, so these are my techniques. This is literally how I do my own makeup. I like starting my makeup with my brows. This was a very recent change because I always do my brows last whenever I'm doing my makeup. Okay, now that I've cleaned my brows completely, we are going to go to skin prep after brows. So now that my brows are clean, I wait till they are dry, or I can go ahead with use some tissue paper and just tap on it and make sure it's completely dry. You want to make sure your brows are completely dry. Then I use this NYX. I'm going to put every product that I use on the screen. I use this NYX brow glue and I just make sure it slips down completely. So I had to take my hair out of the way quickly so you guys can actually see what I'm doing on my face. I'm going to put in every product that I use on the screen, and I will as well list them on the description box. After applying your brow glue, you want it to dry completely. Now that my brows are completely dry, I'm going to go in with my setting powder. I'm using Glam setting powder. I'll show you guys later on this routine. I'm just going to use it to like sort of just dab on my brows, just like this. This is to create a very smooth base on your brow, so when you are drawing your brows, you don't feel any sort of liquid or any dewy stuff, you know what I mean. So this is just making it very smooth. Your pencil will glide better, and you just see what you're doing better. So this is what I use to draw my brows. I don't know if I'll be able to get a picture of it, so this is what it looks like, and this is the back in shade brown ink. Use a very flat brush for drawing my brows. I normally used to just go in with brow pencil, but like this is a new technique that I found out, and it has been working really well for me. So while drawing my brows, I just sort of use this to outline from the middle to the edge. So I don't use this at all at the beginning of my brows. Just like that. I'm not going to fill it in. I'm not going to do anything. Just from your middle of your brows, or basically almost the beginning, but not the beginning, to the edge. I'm just going to do this side now. You can see where I'm putting the brush. I'm starting from like almost the middle. Then I'll go to the top, and I'm just basically following my natural brow shape. But if you want to go ahead and do a different brow shape, you can do that, but I feel like I advise following your normal brow shape because it just goes really well with your face. Now I'm going to go in with my Browgasm pencil. This is from Beauty by Didi. This is what I use to fill in my brows. It's a roller pencil, so I just roll it up a little bit, then I fill in. So this one, I'm basically not using it to do any edge work or anything. This is why I don't like doing my skin prep before my brows, because I always like using my hands to just sort of shaping my brows and clean it up, because I don't use concealer on my brows. So you can use concealer though if you make mistake and you just want it to look sharper. But for me, I never use concealer while doing my brows. So if you want a very much detailed brow tutorial, you can check my TikTok for that. Now that the brows are done, we're going to move on to skin prep. So I use this micellar water from this brand and just any clean wipe, and I just apply a little bit of this on the wipe to wipe my face to make sure that there's actually no dirt anywhere. I moisturized my lips already using my e.l.f. lip oil. See how I'm being so careful around my brows because I don't want anything around there to get cleaned off, so I'm just going to clean around it. After cleaning your face, most people go in with toner spray, different stuff, but You can as well do your normal skincare routine, but what I do personally is to moisturize. So I moisturize using Weleda. This cream, this moisturizer, I don't even know what to call it, is so freaking moisturizing. Like, this particular amount I'm applying right now is too much, because one dot can do a lot, trust me. And it's so freaking thick. It creates a very nice base. If you ask me, I feel like this adds to what makes my base flawless. So one hack is to focus your moisturizer on your under eyes. Just make sure you're applying so much moisturizer there, because you know products go under your eyes a lot, so you want to make sure it's really prepped. One tip or trick about my makeup routine is to dry after each step. So I'm using this fan, which you can shop from PT Mart, in several colors. The fan is so good. So I'll just use this to dry my face, because trust me, you want to make sure each step dries before moving on to the next step. So after moisturizing, the next step is to prime your face. I'm going to be using this e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I'm just going to apply 3 to 4 pumps on my face. Now here's another hack, another tip. You don't want to apply primer under your eyes. So you can see I'm going to apply primer to every other part of my face, excluding under my eye area. Once again, after applying your primer, you want to make sure your primer dries down. Okay, now I think my primer is dry. Let's do what the TikTok girlies do whenever they apply this Power Grip Primer. You see, this is a sign now that your face is ready to grip anything you put on it, literally anything. Like you can see, it's gripping the products really hard. So now we can officially say goodbye to skin prep. So the next step is foundation. This is basically like the base of your makeup. Like I said, this is like my everyday or my go-to makeup. So I used to previously use MAC as my foundation, but ever since I went for my trip and I'm back on my trip, I became like 2 shades darker. This foundation is definitely not going to work for me, so I'm not going to attempt to even use it, because I don't want to look like a masquerade. When shopping for a foundation, you can actually go 1 shade darker. I feel like that's what I failed to do when I got this foundation. I actually got my perfect match. It was like my perfect skin color at the time. Honestly, you want to go 1 shade darker, just trust. When your makeup is done, you'll see the difference. So now this is not a foundation, but this is what I use for my foundation. This is like, I don't know what it is actually. I don't know if it's a skin tint, but it's called the Halo Glow Liquid Filter, and I've been using it since last year. It just works really fine as a foundation for me, but it doesn't have any coverage though. This is another hack that I found out recently. Put your products at the back of your palm, or literally anywhere aside from directly your face, you get. So I just put it at the back of my hand here, and I'm going to use my foundation brush now to apply to my face, focusing it mostly on the bottom part of my face. Applying it at the back of your palm is going to make you, you know, distribute the product evenly around your face. I feel like this Halo Glow is even a little bit lighter than usual for me, because I have not recovered from the sunburn I went through with my vacation. So notice now how I am not putting foundation directly under my eyes, just basically at the lower part of my face. After applying foundation, I'm going to go in with my contour. This is like a contour or a bronzer stick from Fenty Beauty, and is in the shade Espresso. Like I said, I will link and list everything in the description box. So now I'm going to use an angled brush like this, and I'm just going to apply a little bit on the stick. Notice how I'm not applying it directly on my face like I normally used to. You can see where I'm putting it on my face. I'm not putting it below here like we used to do those days. Is now above, basically on top of your cheekbone. So I'm just going to do same here too. And then I'm going to put it on my forehead as well. You know, my face is looking really dark. Yeah, I just like putting like what's left in my brush here, like beneath my chin, just here. And I like to use a smaller brush like this that is also angled, and apply a little bit of my contour and use it to contour my nose. Notice how I am not just contouring my nose, I am taking it up to my eyebrow, literally where my eyebrow begins, and I'm just, you know, bringing it down to my nose here. I don't have pointy nose at all, so I really love taking my time to contour my nose. Now that we're done with contouring, your face should look like this. Now the next step is to apply blush, one of my favorite steps. I apply blush twice in my routine now, and I'll show you guys the second time. So this is Nuban Beauty in my skin blush in the shade Cora. I'm going to put very little on my hand. So this is what I use to apply my blush. Put some on the brush, and I'm going to put it at almost the highest point of my cheekbone, just almost on top of your bronzer slash contour, but a little bit higher, just like this. So I like going crazy with my liquid blush because I barely use powder blush. I don't even use powder blush at all. The one that I own, I don't really like the shade of that powder blush, so I just like going with my liquid blush. Another thing, this used to happen to me, I always used to pay attention to like the front of my face. I don't be turning and be looking at my face like from this point of view and this point of view, because when we go out, people are not just looking at us like this. There are people coming from here, there are people standing here, even at your back. Do you get? So you want to make sure that your makeup is looking good from all points of view, not just from the front part. Do you get? So when doing your makeup, don't hesitate to like turn completely while looking at your mirror and blend those parts in. That's something I used to find hard when I used to do my makeup, honestly. I just be focusing on my front part of my face most times. Now I'm looking scary, but don't be scared, don't be scared. I'm going to use the remaining products on the brush to just apply slightly on my nose. So for concealers, I go back and forth with e.l.f. Born This Way, which is Too Faced concealer, and then my Fenty Beauty. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using just e.l.f. just because I feel most people use e.l.f. and it's a drugstore product. So if you're trying to get everything that I'm getting and you're just beginning, I don't think you should go straight to high end. But if you have the money, you can do that, like Too Faced and Fenty Beauty. So you can see I have two shades here, which is my darker and my lighter shade. If you want that bright under eye, you need 2 shades of concealer for it. So people even use 3. But for this tutorial, I'm going to be using 2 because this is what I normally use. This is deep chestnut and this is medium beige. I'm going to put them on the description box. I'm using a flat brush like this just so I can go to the inner corners of my eyes. And I'm going to apply just here. So these are my placements for my concealer. I'm going to use what's left on my brush to just, you know, lift up my eyes. Notice how I am using the darker shade of concealer to do this. I notice most people like using the lighter shade of concealer to do this wing stuff, but I don't think it's nice because it doesn't make your face like come forward. You want to use the darker shade. This is the placement for my first layer of concealer. This is what I think, because everybody on TikTok says, oh, you have to let your concealer sit for so amount of time and all of that. But you have to look at the consistency of your concealer. I can't compare this consistency to the one of my Fenty Beauty, because this Fenty Beauty is way like watery. This one has a thicker consistency, so I can leave this one for like, let's say 2 to 3 minutes, and I can leave this one for like maybe 5 minutes because it's not as thick as this one. So I feel like the whole letting your concealer dry and the time depend on the consistency of your concealer. So if your concealer is actually thick enough, you don't have to let it sit for too long. 30 seconds to 1 minute to 1 minute 30 seconds is okay. Then if it's like watery, you can let it stay longer. So for this e.l.f., I'm just going to let it stay for like a minute, and then we'll start blending. This is what I do before I start blending my concealers. I like spraying my e.l.f. Power Grape Dewy Setting Spray on my beauty blender, and then that's what I use to blend my entire face. So I like starting from the bottom just because I'm giving my eyes even more time to dry. The more you wait, the better coverage you get. Then I'm going to blend my forehead first because I like using this part of my beauty blender to blend this part of my eye. I'm just trying to maintain how I put the concealer there, so I'm just going to use this. It's time to apply the lighter shade of concealer, which is the medium beige color. I'm going to put a little behind my arm. For this lighter shade of concealer, I don't use it everywhere I apply the first concealer because we want bright under eyes, right? We are only putting it under our eyes. This is where I placed my lighter shade of concealer, just beneath my eyes, like the inner corner of my eyes. So we can let this concealer sit a little longer than the previous one sat. While the concealer is drying, we're going to move on and do our eyeshadows. My palette is so huge. I'm using this shade here, this particular one, and I'm just going to put it around my eyelid, just like this. We're not going to do too much on eyeshadows today. It's honestly not looking like any eyeshadows are on my lid right now, but trust me, there's something there. So my concealer has sat for a good 3 minutes now, so it's time to blend. I'm just going to tap really lightly, just like I said during the first application. You don't want to do too much tapping. You just want to tap it exactly where it is and very lightly, because beauty blender tends to steal most of your makeup, so you don't want all the makeup to leave. So when you're tapping gently, so I like using the part of the beauty blender where there's no product to sort of merge this concealer with my blush and everything under my eyes. This is the point I applied the second blush I was talking about. This second blush is from e.l.f. It's in the shade Pinky Promise. So this one is not going to be where I put the last one, a little bit higher, almost directly on top of my concealer, just here. And then I'll put another one here. Like you see, I'm going crazy with my blush because I don't use powder blush. So I'm going to use that same brush I used to blend the last blush on my face. So you're going to blend this right where it is. You're basically going to mesh this with the concealer we just blended. It's almost like our concealer went away. So I'm going to use the little one on my hand. I'm just going to take a little bit more and then I'll apply more under my eyes. Notice how I am just doing light touch. I feel like most people that are starting off their makeup, they're always putting too much pressure on your beauty blender. When you're using brush, your pressure from your hand is a little bit more controlled than when you're using beauty blender that is just basically on the beauty blender and on your face. So you want to use lighter pressure when doing this. Just using what's left on my hand, add to on top and bottom of my mouth. To lock in all the liquids on my face, I'm going to use this dewy setting spray from e.l.f. It's time to set in all the liquids. I'm going to use my Mercier setting powder. This is hands down the best setting powder. Leave Huda Beauty and the rest. This is the OG. For real. I'm going to hold you real close when I say this, because if you want to learn how to do your makeup, you cannot go wrong with setting your face, because like that's another very important step. After getting all the liquids in, it's time to set your face. I'm going to put a little powder on your powder puff, just like this, and then you're going to go ahead and rub it in your hands just so it's not too much. You don't want to put too much while setting it, trust me, because it's just going to look weird. You can build your layers, but when you're setting that first one, you don't want to apply too much. If there's any crease under my eye before I put my powder, I'm just going to use my beauty blender to blend that out. We are looking up still, and we're just going to put my powder directly under my eyes. Just like this. I like using this part of my powder puff to give my eyes that lift. So flawless, you see that? We're obviously going to correct my nose contour because I just spot it with the setting powder. Now for the other eyes, I'm just going to blend that real quick. While looking up still, I'm just going to pull my powder puff, just give it that wink. So this is what your face should be looking like after that first setting powder. I'm going to add another layer of setting powder on top of it, just like this. So we're not going to use that same setting powder and set the remaining places we put concealer on our face, which is the chin and on top of our lips. Still using that same method of, you know, rubbing it before applying it on your face, because we want flawless finish only. So now I'm going to set my forehead just where the concealer was, and then on my nose. I'm going to use this mattifying powder palette from Evolution, I think Evolution Makeup, the set where I put my contour. So I'll use this second to darkest shade here, which is dark chocolate, and I'm just going to set here. This one is really optional because I don't do it all the time. So now at this point, I want to make my whole face look, you know, put together, no harsh lines anywhere, and that's where I use my mineral powder from MAC. This is in the shade Dark Tan. You guys, when I tell you that this is my favorite makeup product, if you ask me to choose one makeup product that I cannot do without, I'll choose this and blush. It's honestly so good. I like how it put my makeup together. Put a little bit on my brush, and I'm going to set everywhere on my face basically. I like using this thing to really like calm down my nose contour so it doesn't look too harsh or too defined. I also use this under my eyes as well, because I'm going to use my setting powder one more time. I think this plays the role of a pressed powder on my face. I just love it. I just love it, honestly. I'm going to put setting powder under my eyes because I love bright under eyes. So this is sort of like baking, because I'm not going to blend this one entirely. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to use a black liner now to line my waterline with a thin brush. I'm just going to slightly touch the outlining of my brows to make it, you know, seem and look sharper. Yeah, just like this. So I know most people say you can't use your liquid on top of your powder. Something I do that works well for my makeup routine is to use the remaining liquid on my brush for my blush on my face after applying setting powder, just to bring back that blush, mostly because I don't like the shade of blush I have for my powder blush, so I like going in with my liquid blush. Just going to dust off that setting powder I applied earlier. At this point of your makeup, if you want to apply highlighter, this is the perfect time to apply highlighter. But like I said, this is a calm, soft, everyday, normal makeup without eyeshadows, and it's not just doing so much. I feel like adding highlighter is doing so much. I don't know. Before you do your lips, just ensure your lips are clean. So I'm just going to wipe my lip off. Something I really love about makeup products is the fact that they are so versatile. Like how I use this brow gel for my eyebrow, I'm about to use this for my lips too. I'm basically trying to say this is the first product I'm going to be using on my lips to outline my lips. So after doing that, I'm going to use this lip pencil from Didi Beauty. When doing my lips, I like to slightly overline my lips, as you can see, but very, very slightly overlined. So now this is what it's giving. I'm just going to smack to make sure it's blended. Now I'm going to use a brown lip gloss on top of this lining from Wallflower Beauty in the shade Mocha. After doing that, I'm going to use my Maybelline lip gloss in the shade Silk 004. This is like a nude pinky gloss. I'm gonna start it like Now I could leave my lips like this. It's actually a very cute lip combo. Or I'm going to go in with my Revolution lip gloss. This is a plumping lip gloss in the shade Kiss Nude. I could finish this up with a clear gloss, but I own no clear gloss right now because my clear gloss is missing currently. So we all know that without your setting spray, you're not done with your makeup. So we have to lock everything in at this point. I'm going to be using my airbrush Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. Okay, so I'm going to take off these pins. Okay, so this is it, guys. This is the final look. Look at that flawless under eye. Like, you need to start this video again. I feel like you've not gotten it yet. Everywhere is blending. Everything is looking so. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe and join the family. I'm also a vlogger, so if you love vlogs, don't forget to check out my channel. I have helpful videos there, videos for your Canon G7X settings, how to edit your pictures, and many more basically. Okay, so this is the final look. Don't forget to subscribe and join the family, and see you guys in my next video. Bye.